Okay, guys, we are out of the bath. As you can see, the hair is still wet. I'm exhausted. Boogs just fell asleep. So I am going to talk to you now about my top 5 favorite cult following movies. You don't know what a cult following movie is? It's pretty much a non-popular type movie, but has a strong following to it, and they call it a cult following because there's like one set group of people that follow. Let's move on. Okay, I can't talk too loud. Literally, Book just passed out. We've been trying to get him to go down for the past hour or so. I'm exhausted, so let's start off. Number 1, all-time favorite, every Halloween, you have got to see this movie. VH1 used to put it on every Halloween, if you know what that is. It's like a music channel, like MTV, which I'm sure everybody in the friggin' English-speaking world and so forth knows what MTV is, but the underdrive of it was VH1, and every Halloween they would play the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Here in New York, on Staten Island, we have the St. George Theater, which is down towards our ferry, which leads us into Manhattan. Ferry, giant boat, crosses the Hudson, you know. And I don't know if people from like...
Ow!
You stepped on Luna, didn't you?
I can't see her, she's black on one side.
You know what that is to a cat, man? She thought her life, like her 9 lives flashed before her eyes.
She has 8 left.
You almost killed the fucking cat, man.
No, I stepped down and she bit me, so I got up.
Moving on. Alright. Run, Luna! The Rocky Horror Picture Show, they used to perform it in the St. George Theater. What they would do is they would put a big movie screen behind them, and they'd play the original movie, and the actors and actresses would come out and they would react the movie for you. They would give you rolls of toilet paper at the door and tell you to throw them, you know, through the theater. You know, so they kind of flew through the theater and shit like that. They would give you newspaper to hold over your head during certain scenes. They would give you water pistols to squirt during that scene. Things like that. They'd give you tubes of glitter, you know, like, I forget his goddamn name, but you might know it. Runs around, tubes of glitter throwing at you, you know. That guy. Very flamboyant. Can't remember what the hell his goddamn name is. But he's at the end of the Jackass movie. Whichever one. Maybe it was Jackass number 1. He's at the end sitting in a boat with, like, Steve-O throwing glitter. Rocky Horror Picture Show is basically, it was put out in 1975. Tim Curry plays a transvestite. Him and his crew, family, whatever you want to call them, they were aliens from another planet. They landed on Earth in a remote area, and a couple of Earthlings, Janet Weiss and Brad, they went to a wedding out in the middle of nowhere and wound up getting stuck in their car, and they blew a tire and they had to go for help. When they went for help, they came across the mansion. The mansion was Frankenfooter, who is the actor Tim Curry. It was that man's pretty much spaceship, if you want to call it. It's like a science fiction-y type nutty movie. But if you ever do get a chance, go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's definitely odd, but you will definitely love it. Next movie. It's called They Live. And it was put out in 1988. It's basically about a man that has a pair of glasses that he puts on, and through these glasses he can see human-looking people, but they're really aliens. And it's science fiction-y type. It's nutty, crazy. It's creepy. They're not really scary as they're creepy. Rocky Horror Picture Show is more of a comedy. They Live is more just creepy and awkward. But it definitely is an awesome movie. It really is. Moving along, because as you know, we only have 15 minutes. Donnie Darko. 2001, they put out a movie, Donnie Darko. It's about this kid that has, I don't know, I guess it's like a weird, like a premonition that he's living over and over again. Patrick Swayze's in it. He plays a pedophile. I don't know so much about a pedophile, but his house goes on fire, and then you see that Patrick Swayze, who was this very, like, famous guy in the movie, like, loved by everybody, that he really had, like, kiddie porn locked away in a back room, and he was real creepy. And A piece of an airplane falls on Donnie Darko's house, and this creepy bunny. The bunny rabbit, though, is a Halloween costume, and the creepy bunny keeps coming to him and sitting next to him in movie theaters and just showing up at odd parts in the movie, scaring the shit out of you, but talking to Donnie Darko. And Donnie Darko is this weird, just messed up teenager that's fucking whacked in the head, and he actually, I can't tell you the ending. Go watch it. Donnie Darko. Definitely a good movie. Next, Labyrinth. I just spoke about Labyrinth. It is the late David Bowie. Him and Jim Henson got together. They put out a movie. It came out. It was in 1986. I actually looked it up. It was 1986 it came out. So, I mean, I was what, 6 years old back then? So, I was a kid. But it's a bunch of Jim Henson puppets, and it's about a young girl who has to stay home and babysit her brother all the time while her parents go out. They do, like, you know, their Saturday, whatever, matinee, they go out to. So she gets annoyed because the kid's crying, poor little Toby, and she does Goblin King, come and take my brother away, whatever it was. So the goblins come, and they kidnap the baby brother, who's about Wolf's age, just a little bitty baby. And the Goblin King comes, talks to her, tells her, you have to go to the castle, and you can get your brother back if you do it within this time frame, and then twirls the little clock and tells her to go. She walks through a giant labyrinth, which if you don't know what a labyrinth is, it's a giant maze. She goes through the giant maze, eventually finds the Goblin King's castle, which is David Bowie. Song and dance, meets a bunch of creatures along the way, meets this little wormy guy who, he does this weird thing and she runs into him and he goes, no, I'm just a worm. Like, it was so cute. But, great movie. Labyrinth, David Bowie. Go rent it, go order it, go watch it, I don't know. You can look up on friggin' YouTube probably and watch it there. Another one. Okay. Strange Land. Dee Snider not only wrote, starred, directed, just created this movie in 1998. If you don't know who Dee Snider is, he is the lead singer of Twisted Sister. You know the song, We're Not Gonna Take It, No, We Ain't Gonna Take It, that song? He's the lead singer that put all the goopy makeup on and looks like your grandmother with a bad wig on. In this movie, in 1998 is when the internet got really huge for, like, my age group, where everybody was jumping on AOL, they were meeting each other, things like that. So he created this movie to kind of deter people from going and meeting strange people. Captain Howdy is a sadicist, disgusting, pierced up, messed up guy, loaded in tats and all fucked up, sick in the head. Captain Howdy gets on, he goes on the internet, he gets young girls to come meet him, saying that he's a young teenage boy. He lures them to his house, he kills them, tortures them, sews their eyes shut. It's just fucking creepy. But Strangeland is one of my favorites due to it being so bizarre that Dee Snider himself not only thought of it, directed it, starred in it. He must be one fucked up guy to create this movie. But it was around the time, you know, in the 90s, where the internet became huge and people were going and meeting people off AOL chats, off Craigslist, things like that, and they were all being murdered and killed, raped, tortured, whatever it was. So he created a movie to, I guess, try and get to the youth. I don't know. And tell them, don't be going to meet people and you don't get murdered. Moving right along. The Warriors. Warriors came out in 1979. The Warriors, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows about it. They did a remake of it. It bombed. Nobody ever saw it. It was horrible. But the 1970s version of The Warriors was basically, I believe it took place within the five boroughs. The five boroughs are Staten Island, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. Long Island's not part of the boroughs, right? No, Long Island's not involved with us. Nice place, though. So, I think it takes place within the five boroughs. So, you have all kinds of gangs. You have the baseball guys, you have the creepy guys, you have another set of guys, just a whole mess sort of like punk gangs who would go around and they would claim turf and things like that and beat the shit out of each other. And then you had this really creepy guy from a rival gang that would sit there with beer bottles on his fingers and click his fingers and do that all-time saying, you know, Warriors, come out and play. And that fucked me up for life. Still scares the shit out of me. Don't know why, because it really wasn't creepy. But The Warriors is an awesome movie. Now, we have my all-time favorite movie. It was released in 1971. It's an amazing movie. It's violence, gore, rape, fucking gangs, it's nuts. but you kind of gotta like look away at all the nasty, horrible things that happen and take it for what it is, that it was just a really good, really beautifully directed movie. It's called A Clockwork Orange. I don't know if many of you have seen it. It's about this kid Alex who goes out. He has a gang. They stay out all night. They do drugs. They screw around. They just destroy the scene in London. And it was around the time that the punk era was massive. So all the new punk bands that came out, they all took most of their motif and everything they dressed in and everything from this movie, Clockwork Orange. And then you had that whole, punk bands and everything. They all came out. They all looked dressed like this guy, looked like this guy, put the one eye in makeup. And I was so lucky, as in Comic-Con last year, I actually got my hands on an autographed picture of Alex. It's signed by the real actor, and it is one of my prized possessions, which... for me, because it is one of my favorite movies, it is a huge honor to have that. And it's definitely a movie that you have to have strong nerves to watch. It's not something for a child, not something for even a teenager. I would say if you're not 20 and above, don't even go near it. It messes kids up. It fucks with your brain. It's just a very sick, sadistic movie. But it's my favorite. I don't know. I also love, a couple other movies, like, Natural Born Killers is my favorite, Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, like, all those, but the older, all-time cult classic movies just gave them to you. So, definitely favorites. Donnie Darko went in there, and that wasn't too old, but Donnie Darko is just a fucking odd movie. You really gotta... It's like watching The Butterfly Effect, only creepy, like, weird things just happen. I don't know, it was really... And everything, like, that saying, every action has a reaction? Well, in Donnie Darko, that's the way it was. Every action had a reaction. Everything happens for a reason. So, it kind of freaked you out a little bit, but it was great. So, that is it. That was all the movies. And what I could think of at the top of my head, I did write down a few of them. I definitely gave you the years, because I remembered some, and I had to go look some up. But, that is my favorite all-time cult movie. That is Alex from A Clockwork Orange, and that was London's basically gang. I don't know, they did a lot of nasty shit. There's a bunch of gangs back then, and he went to prison for a while, got in a release program. You gotta watch it. You really do gotta watch it. It's kind of... I don't know, he's supposed to be in prison for like almost, I think it was life, because he wound up raping and murdering a woman in her home and maiming the husband or something like that. And his gang actually turned on him and locked him in the home and got him arrested. When he came out, he couldn't commit a violent crime, couldn't do anything like that, because he would choke and gag, because he went through Clockwork Orange. They held his eyes open, they made him watch these horrific movies, and they played Beethoven's Symphony. Beethoven's Symphony. I don't remember which one it is. But they played that for him, and anytime he heard it, he would freak out. And in the end, the woman who he raped and murdered, the husband got him back. But then Alex, in the end of it, kind of rules the roost, and he gets on top of the world. But that's it. I've said but way too many times. We're almost at our 15-minute mark. I still have to figure out how to switch that over. I'm probably going to have to punch it into YouTube and watch a video on how to do it. That's it. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. He's playing his game for the night, so I am passing out early. Boogie's out. And that's it. So that was my favorite movies, favorite cult movies. I love yous all. I will talk to you again soon, and have a good night.